Think you're doing your Pilates moves correctly? You may need to think again. Just because you're feeling the burn doesn't necessarily mean that you're moving effectively. In fact, common Pilates mistakes could be holding you back from seeing results, and even worse, could be causing unnecessary pain and strain on your body. The good news is, even small adjustments can make a huge difference. In this video, I'm going to show you how to spot and fix these mistakes so that you can get stronger, move better, and feel more confident doing Pilates at home. I'm going to walk you through the most common mistakes that I see in bridge, in an all-fours position when working the glutes and thighs, and when head, neck, and shoulders are rolled up to work the core. So stick with me, especially for that last one. It shows up in so many Pilates exercises, and once you know how to fix it, you'll notice a big difference in your workouts. For those of you who are new here, my name is Alex. I'm a certified mat Pilates instructor with over 20 years of experience teaching and practicing Pilates. I used to teach in-person studio classes, and now I help thousands of people around the world do Pilates safely and effectively from home. Whether at home on the mat or in the studio, these are the mistakes that I see all the time. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So the first position we're going to talk about is bridge. Feel free to join me down on the mat as I work through these examples. It'll help you get in tune with the exercise and notice and feel how different parts of the movement should feel in your body. Now, the three common mistakes that I see in bridge are thrusting, rigid spine, and instability. So let's start off with thrusting. So it looks like this. When you're down on the mat, you're really pressing those hips up toward the ceiling with force. And as you do so, you're compressing the low back. You're not engaging the core or the back body properly. So the way to fix this is to start off with good form. So you want to make sure you've got a little bit of space between your lower back and the mat. You're tilting the pelvis back, key piece here. And when you tilt the pelvis back, you're pressing your low back into the mat. From here, you want to peel one bone, one vertebra up off the mat at a time, starting with your lower back, moving your way up through your mid back and lifting up into a shoulder bridge. Now from this position, you don't want your hips lifted too high. You want to be creating a nice flat diagonal line from your breastbone to your hips to your knees. Your back body is engaged, your core is engaged, and your spine is in neutral. Tailbone stays slightly tucked. On your way back down, you're lowering down from the top of your spine through the middle of your spine, one bone at a time, lowering your tailbone down last. And between each lift, you're making sure you're tucking that tailbone and creating that nice flat surface at the top. So as mentioned, another mistake that I see in bridge is that rigid spine. So you might be moving up and down without any spinal articulation. So as you come up, again, really focusing on that pelvic positioning, tilting the pelvis back, envisioning your spine like a string of pearls or beads, lifting each individual pearl up off the mat one at a time. And then as you lower down, you're lowering each individual pearl, pressing it down into the mat, one bone at a time. So we're thinking of our spine as flexible as we lift and lower, rather than a rigid rod. Really focusing on that spinal articulation on the way up as well as on the way down. Amazing work. So another problem that I mentioned was instability. So when you're unstable in bridge, it quite often happens when you're lifted up and you're just balancing on one foot. So for example, a single leg bridge. This is a really powerful move, but if you haven't got level hips, you're going to suffer here. And again, it can be really hard on your lower back, and you're not activating the proper muscles correctly. So what you want to make sure of at all times in bridge is that your hips are level. So if you've got one leg up, you're keeping those hips balanced as you lift and lower. If you haven't got the strength to do so, but you want to build up to a single leg bridge, you can put your weight predominantly in your supporting foot, and you can maybe just lift one heel up off the mat. Keeping those hips level, lifting and lowering, will help you to build up to a single leg bridge safely. Okay, moving into the all fours position. So the three mistakes that I see in all fours is swinging, slumping, and squaring. So let's talk about each of those. Coming down onto the mat, starting off with swinging. I've got my wrists below my shoulders, knees below my hips, so I'm setting myself up well. But as I lift and lower, I'm swinging the leg up, I'm using momentum, and notice what's happening to my lower back. It's compressing, my torso is moving around. I'm not feeling the work properly in those glutes and thighs, but I am hurting my lumbar spine area. So in order to correct that, we want to start off in our all fours. Shoulders are broad, shoulders are square with the mat, knees are below the hips. We're extending the leg, really plugging the belly button in toward the spine. This is an important step. And then lifting and lowering that leg. Not worrying about how high the leg gets, but really focusing on squeezing the glutes, contracting the hamstrings and the thighs. As we lift and lower with control, we want a still, stable torso. So the other problem that I see with this move has to do with slumping. So notice what's happening to my shoulders as I lift and lower the leg. This one always makes me cringe, but it's so common. We've all been here. If you're feeling really tired, particularly toward the end of a workout, you might start to slump in those shoulders. It can be really painful on those shoulders. It can really hurt the neck and take away from the effectiveness of the movement. So I always like to start off with some shoulder protractions and retractions just so that you can get in tuned with how the shoulders should feel. If you retract the shoulders, keeping those arms straight, let the shoulders knit together, and then protract the shoulders, push the mat away, broadening across the shoulders. So retract, letting the shoulders knit together, and then protract, pushing the mat away. Retract and protract. Let those shoulder blades come together and then push the mat away, broadening across those shoulders. So notice how the shoulders feel when they are protracted. You want them ever so gently protracted when you're in this all fours position. So let's see what that looks like. Extending the leg, gently pushing the mat away, and as you lift and lower, you're keeping those shoulders broad, keeping the neck nice and long, gaze is down on the mat. Great work. Okay. The other mistake I see is when there is a lack of squaring of the hips. So I'm lifting and lowering the leg and the hip is open to the side. Now in Pilates, there are some moves where you're going to be lifting on a diagonal to work the gluteus medius, but when working the gluteus maximus, you want your hips square with the mat. So noticing what that feels like, we've got our shoulders square with the mat, we've got our hips square with the mat, both hip bones pointing down to the floor. Then we're extending the leg, keeping those hip bones facing down. We're lifting and lowering. So think about level hips, level shoulders as we lift and lower with control. So important for working the gluteus maximus here. Okay, the last movement we're going to talk about today is head, neck, and shoulders lifted into a curl or crunch. Now, as mentioned at the beginning of the video, this one is so important because head, neck, and shoulders lifted is a part of so many Pilates core exercises. And if not done correctly, it can really strain your neck and prevent you from working your abdominals in the way that you want to. So we're going to have a look at the three different mistakes. One is looking up at the ceiling. The other is compressing chin to chest. And the last that we're going to talk about today is neck strain. So I'm going to bring my knee in toward my chest and set myself up for an abdominal exercise. I'm lifting head, neck, and shoulders up so I can feel the tension in those abs, but notice I'm looking up at the ceiling as I move. So this can cause a lot of strain on the back of the neck. It's also not allowing me to engage my abdominals properly as I bring the knees in, and even just after a couple of reps, I'm already feeling pain in the back of my neck and into my head. So to avoid that, you want to set yourself up properly. You want to peel head, neck, and shoulders up to the point where your head rests on top of your shoulders. You're not looking up at the ceiling, you're looking out between your inner thighs. So I like to practice that by just doing some roll-ups down on the mat. I'm inhaling here with my head, neck, and shoulders down, and exhaling to walk. Just crawl my fingers forward, resting head on top of the shoulders, engaging the core and looking out between the inner thighs. Lower down. Inhale and exhale, curl up, engage the core, hold, and look out between those inner thighs. So you're rolling up to the point where just the bottom of your shoulder blades are touching the mat. Good, and lowering down. Let's practice that in position. So we're lifting up, gaze is looking out between the inner thighs, lower back is pressing into the mat, and the head is resting on top of the shoulders. Much better. So another problem we see a lot of in Pilates, as mentioned, is when the head is rolled up too high and there's a compression here. The chin is touching the chest. There's no space. I'm straining my neck because my neck is completely out of alignment here with the natural curvature of my spine. I'm not breathing properly because my chest is closed, which takes away from the abdominal engagement that we're looking for with this ab exercise. So in order to correct that, you can visualize a fist or a peach just under your chin, holding it there loosely as you lift up. Gaze is looking out between those inner thighs. It'll help with that chin placement as well. And really focusing on keeping that space there while keeping your head rested on top of your shoulders. Amazing work. Let's talk about neck strain now. This can happen in any exercise where head, neck, and shoulders are lifted up for a prolonged period of time. So say, for example, I'm coming up and I'm moving through my ab exercise. My head, neck, and shoulders are lifted properly, but I don't quite have the ab strength to keep my head in this position. So my neck is going to start to strain and I may stop being able to engage my core. If you're feeling strain in your neck or your head or your shoulders, it's always a good idea to lower head, neck, and shoulders down to the mat. You can do a couple of repetitions like this and then lift back up to the more challenging variation, or simply keep head, neck, and shoulders down the entire time. Trust me, there is no shame in keeping head, neck, and shoulders down on the mat. In fact, it is smart to do so while you work on your breathing and your core engagement and build up the strength in order to be able to lift head, neck, and shoulders up for more prolonged periods of time. So there you have it, problems and solutions for when practicing those Pilates moves. Like so many of you, I absolutely love working out from home. It's convenient, it fits in with my schedule, and it helps me to stay consistent. However, the problem is that you don't have an instructor there, providing cues, giving you feedback, and focusing on your form. That's why in all of my workouts here on YouTube, I make a point of talking you through each of the exercises, cueing your form regularly so that you can be confident that you're doing it right. Unfortunately, that's something that a lot of Pilates instructors on YouTube skip, but I feel it makes all the difference. So if you want to get strong and toned, see results, and work out safely and effectively from home, be sure to subscribe and join me for guided Pilates workouts. Thank you so much for watching today, and I look forward to seeing you on the mat.